ran a few errands today. I thought I'd run through my favorite little neighborhood to Trashdashing, see if there was anything on the side of the road. I don't usually pull off big things, just stuff that I can turn over real quick at some of my estates or use around the house or something like that. So let's see what's over here. I see a little crate. Hang on a minute. Let's see what we got. Well, the crate was kind of chewed up, but there were 4 brand new curtain handles down in there. I'll show you everything at the end. I also got a University of Kentucky ball cap. I didn't take the time to look at it. Somebody was sitting there, so I figured maybe they pulled up and wanted to do the same thing, so I was going to let them. If I had a need for a crate, that one would have been fine, but if I'm going to resell, I'm not going to take something if it's got a little chewed corner or something on it. I make a lot of money off the curbside. I don't go as often as I used to, but I used to run the trash every night, every single night. And I would be out for 2 or 3, sometimes 4 hours if I was really finding a bunch of stuff. It was when I owned my shop. I had an antiques and collectibles shop for about 3.5 years, and I had an entire shop full of things. When I would buy out estates, I would just buy out the whole house for a couple $100 at the end, if that's something my customer wanted me to do. Then I would clear it out and trash it out or whatever needed to be done, and I'd take those things to my shop and I'd sell. Well, I supplemented that with any of the trash dashing I did. And so I got to where I got so many good quality pieces that were just sitting on the road, and like if the furniture, you know, had good hardware on it, but the rest of it was kind of bummed out, I would keep a set of tools in my van, which I'm not in the van today, I'm in Miss Daisy, but keep a set of tools in the van, and I just quick take that hardware off, and hardware will sell, you know, especially the vintage, and that's a lot of what is sitting curbside. But I had a corner of the shop that was probably conservatively about as big as a 2-car garage. I had 5,000 square feet altogether, and I had about that much marked out that I didn't clean up, that I didn't price, as far as like tag it. I didn't do anything to it except pull it off the curb, put it in my van, take it inside and set it in that corner. And people would come in every single day. They would be standing there almost exclusively, over the weekend especially. They'd be standing there waiting for me to open, because they knew that I found a whole lot of stuff usually on Thursdays and Fridays, and I'd have it in there on Saturday and Sunday. And sometimes I'd be open on Sunday afternoon for some sales. So they would come in there and they'd hit that corner over there. I picked up old pieces of fence, I picked up barbed wire, I picked up, you know, actual furniture pieces, project pieces, things like that, the hardware that I mentioned. And then if I found anything, like for instance, I sold something pretty recently. It was the guitar pick from the music group, the band Korn. And I sold it for I think it was $15.99 on eBay pretty recently. And I picked it up off the side of the road. It was just in a bag of stuff, and I saw other stuff in the bag, and I thought, well, yeah, there'll be some good stuff down in there. And that was probably the highest selling that was in there, but the rest of the stuff was like hardware and drill bits and, you know, just odds and ends. And I just used to throw them over in that corner, and people would just pick out what they wanted. And had a lot of people that did a lot of the repurposed art pieces, and had a lot of artists and things like that from the urban center down in Memphis, Tennessee, that's not far from me, that would come down and they would shop, and they would make they would use the fence pieces and things like that, or old window frames. They'd bust them up and make them into other pieces or frame out their art with it and stuff like that. And I would always find stuff like that on the road. Shutters, screen doors, you know, whatever I could fit in the back of the van. So Rosie, I got my money's worth out of Rosie probably the first 2 weeks I owned her. But I used to do a lot of stuff like that, and now I don't have any storage or anything. Of course, I don't have the venue, you know, to store it until it does sell, as far as like a corner of a shop or anything. And I don't do antique booths right now, so I just find little stuff that I can take right to my estate, stuff that I can use in my own garden or around my own house, or, you know, something I can, like these curtains, you know, if they're not all messed up and if they truly do look new and all of that, because that looked like an eviction or a move out or both. If they're in truly good shape, you know, I'll just put them on eBay, or I'll stick them out at one of my estates. I'll probably stick it out at one of the estates first, because of course that's always easier to flip it right away. This is mostly a neighborhood full of young folks that, you know, they've gotten their mama's stuff and mama's handed it down to them, and so a lot of times they'll get something new, you know. It might be from IKEA, or it might be from Sam's that you put together, or Sam's Club or something like that, but it's new to them, and so they want to get rid of mama's stuff, and mama's stuff is what's selling. So I always come by. If I can't use a piece of furniture, I'll take a picture of it, and there are at least 2 or 3 sites that I'm a member of on my local Facebook, and they are curb finds, and people will post an address and stuff like that. So I will do something like that, because if I can't use it, somebody can. I'm gonna back up. It may be all busted up. I pulled several of these little type cars and things like that off the side of the road. This one down here, like I said, it may be missing wheels and everything else. I couldn't tell. But it is actually a police car. So let's see what it looks like. Well, my grandma always had this saying, a woman can do anything with a bobby pin and a blanket. And you know what? I did it without both. She's in the front seat. I did get that thing wrestled into the car miraculously, and I've got it home. These are the panels that were in there. It's just Comfort Bay. I think, is that Target, or I don't know, probably Dollar Tree or something. But anyway, it's some shears, and we may actually end up using those in my little granddaughter's room, because these all match. It's all the same size and all that, and she's got 3 windows, and we wanted to put up some new window treatments for her, so we may end up using those for her. And then UK hat, and it's one of the 39, so that might, you know, most of my hats will sell for around $8 to $15. That's the kind of average or whatever. That's those. And then here's the crazy woman thing. I think he's got everything except for maybe the radio. I think maybe it has a radio that slides in there, but nobody's gonna care. Still works. It's got his little lights and all that kind of good stuff. But this is one of those, the little tykes. I don't know if you can see that. It's really bright out here. And it's one of the little cozy coops. Couldn't think of the name of it, cozy coops. But I'm gonna take a picture of it, and I'm gonna get the storage, and we'll see if we get it sold before we get out of storage. That would be pretty cool, huh? My arm hurts from holding that thing off of my stick shift. Goodness. Returned to the neighborhood. I didn't get but about a third of it driven through before I picked up that little police car. So I went by and dropped it off and got it sold, like I said, and I've already got the money sitting under under my front mat, and it's already been picked up while I've been out. I went by storage probably 10 minutes later, and the person that bought it was right down the street anyway, so he just came by and got it and threw money under my mat, so that's $15 more today. So that's pretty cool. I love those kind of flips. That is what reselling is all about. I probably could have just stood by it and just told him, hey, come over here, here's this, you pay me $15, I found it for you. You never know. I saw a cooler back there. I might double back and go see if it has a hole in it or anything. It's one of those Coleman coolers. Sometimes they sell pretty good. I can get about 10 bucks for them or something like that in a state. But anyway, while I was driving up to storage, he ended up purchasing that and all of that. So I got taken care of, and I picked up my 9 items going out today and got those packaged and everything. I had those ready to go. So go back over here and see what this is. It looks like broken up furniture, but you never know. Another thing I looked for when I had my shop was, besides full pieces of furniture, I would pull off things like legs and spindles and things like that. So those kind of things that was in that pile that I just passed, it's not anything I can use now. Those would have been things that I would have broken it up and sold it for more for just the pieces than I would have the entire chair. So I used to break up ones that were already broken anyway, I didn't want to fix them or wood glue them and all that kind of junk. I'm a person that is very low maintenance on anything that I sell, even at my estates. Some people like my estates and some people don't, but the ones that do love them, and they come to my estates all the time. I don't clean things up, but I keep prices down, and I tell my clients, look, I'm not going to clean this stuff up. I'm not going to, it's not going to get you much more of a percentage, and your retainer fee for me will be a lot higher if I have to clean everything up before I ever put it out. So I'll peek in this one. Let's see what's in here. Don't think anything, but you never know. Suspected, nothing. It's a beautiful day today, but boy, it is hot here in the south. We're up to 93 today, but I'm so excited that unless Providence takes a step into my schedule the next day and maybe 2 days, I'm actually going to be sitting by my mom's pool in her neighborhood that usually doesn't have just a whole lot of traffic. And I am going to take 2 days off. Really off. Well, for me, it's really off. Little drawer unit. That one's yucky, but some of those are pretty good. I better move. Move faster than that. I gotta get out of here. Do some stuff. Kids are out of school, so they're all roaming all over the place. Good thing is, though, when they're out of school, a lot of times you can look at a kid and say, could you help me for just a minute? And they are so good, really. I mean, even in this little neighborhood, that it's mostly a low income and stuff. This is where we had our first little house a long time ago. Almost 30 years ago, I guess. And, of course, it's changed a lot since then, but a lot of these people, there's some that are the same neighbors. I mean, people that haven't even moved from the area or anything, same neighbors. And their kids or grandkids are still over here, but you can catch people on a day and they'll help you put a piece of furniture in the car or whatever. All you have to do is ask. All they can do is say no. And and I pull the old lady card, even though I'm not an old lady. Well, I am, but you know, I don't work like one. Well, this one over here has got Christmas stuff. I don't know. I don't usually do. Oh, I see a pair of boots though. Let's see what they look like. Well, I'm about to lose all my battery. I've got down to 25%, and I don't like to go much lower than about 15 this far from home, which is not real far, but still. So I probably won't be able to show you the piles as I come up to them, but that last one I pulled out a bunch of shoes. It looks like several pairs of Air Jordans that look like brand new and all that, and I wasn't going to sort them out to see what pairs we have and all of that. I'll do that at home, but I'll show you that on the tail end of the video, and we'll see what we end up with. Isn't this fun? Well, out of the bag, this is the no-no pile, or put out on a dollar day at the estate. We're having a dollar day on our last day. Everything's $1 in the house. These are the ones I pulled out that I'll try and sell for a little bit more. No big, huge home runs, but you know. Got some little Rudd shoes. Most of them are in pretty decent enough shape. They need to be cleaned up, but I probably won't do that. I'm funny like that, yeah. Nike Air. Those don't look bad. Nike. Air Max. Kevin Durant. These don't look like they've been worn. Nike cleats. Pair of stilettos. Sperry topsiders. Those little church shoes, some sandals. I thought these might be Sperry's, but they're not. That's no boundaries, but those American Eagle, these are alright. Need some cleanup. Little pair of Gap shoes. These are apostrophe. And then a pair of boots. It's got a little place, but it's not cut all the way through on there, so those will probably sell for a little bit. So that took maybe 5 minutes. If I make $1 a pair, how many is that? And $1 a pair for those. I'll sell these for more, I hope. Well, this phone keeps overheating, so you're going to probably get a lot of hiccups and all of that, but you know, I'll just put it together. This is another little section of a neighborhood that I go through a lot. There's a lot of rentals over here, so people are always moving in and out. And I haven't been over here trashing in a while, but figured we'd drive through here and just see if we see anything before the phone cuts off again. I need to look into, is there some kind of cooler that we can put our phones in? Oh, all of us YouTubers, we fight this, right? I don't know. It gets overheated, and then we have to wait. It's a plant stand, but it's busted up. And then we have to let it cool off, and then we have to try again, and then it cuts off again. It's frustrating. Another set of those little drawers. We've got several at our house right now. We don't need any right now that I know of anyway. Of course, we got baby coming in December. My daughter's expecting. We don't know what it is yet. It's too early to find out. And the littles are excited. Lorelai will be 10 years older than the baby, and the boys will be 6.5 years older than the baby. And baby is due the day before my daughter's birthday on December 30th. My daughter was a New Year's Eve baby. So we'll see how close this little one comes to the actual due date. We hope that it's in this year because they've had several medical things. She's got arthritis, so she's had to start in with a new doctor and some different things, and of course we'll have the baby doctor visits and all that kind of good stuff in this calendar year, so it'd be nice to get it all in one year. I see things out, but I don't necessarily see anything out that I'm interested in. There's a slide back there. Anybody need a slide? probably hanging out the back of Miss Daisy's window back there. I still can't believe I drove home. I was pushing the little coupe car away from my stick shift on my car so it wouldn't shift while I was driving, trying to get home. Yes, I've lost my mind. That's okay though. I'll get it back, or I'll find one on eBay. A mind, I mean. Wow, that's a green roof house. That thing's hot too. That's metal. Who puts a metal roof in the South? I like a tin roof if I'm living under a canopy of trees, but... Uh-oh, what's that? Nope. Bandaged up. I don't want it. Exercise equipment. I can sell it. A lot of it doesn't sell at my estates, though, for very much. Has to be certain types. And I don't try to flip those locally usually. I will put some pictures on OfferUp or something while I have an active estate, and then they can come and pick it up on estate duty, but I'm not going to haul that thing around. I'm just too lazy, and I don't have Steve to go with my stuff, as we say. So I don't have somebody that can help me haul this stuff around, so I've had to put limitations on myself. It's fun to trash dash if you haven't done it yet. And trash dashing, that's a coined phrase. You know, my grandchildren came up with that phrase. They'll say, can we go trash dashing? So that's what we call it. But it's peaceful to do it. You can drive around the neighborhood and just kind of see what's going on. Sometimes find some things to resell, and sometimes it just gets you away from the hustle and the bustle. I really like going real early on a Sunday morning. That neighborhood that I go to on a Sunday morning, it's really quiet. And when I go to church, we have a Saturday night service, so I'll usually attend on a Saturday night if I go to church that week, which sometimes I can and sometimes I can't with my estates and so forth. So I just have to kind of catch it online. We've got, our church has videos, so we can watch the service on video if we need to, want to. People are so mobile now, not everybody's off on Sunday anymore, and hasn't been that way for years. So I figure we'll go over in this other little neighborhood, we'll see what we can find. Let me let the phone cool off. So there's the lady at my house. I'm sitting down the street. I was going to go back to the house and get my van to pick up another couple of big stuff, big items. And she is putting the copper planter in her car. I don't know if you can see it or not from here. I'm probably back too far. I'll show you a picture of it on the video though. But she paid by PayPal so that I would hold it for her. So that's another $30. Very cool.